All right, so connecting is the ability to identify with people, relate to them in a way that increases your influence with them. That comes directly from John Maxwell. So let me tell you a little bit about my journey as a leader. You know, when I was in my very first leadership position, quite frankly, I wasn't worried about identifying and connecting with my staff. I didn't really understand this principle about, influence, right? I thought it was my job just to get stuff done, right? I had metrics, I had to-do lists, I had demands, right? I needed to get stuff done. Well, the more, I guess in those first days, I did have some connections with some staff, one or two staff members. I think just because we naturally had, complementary personalities, so we understood each other, right? And I did see that I was getting more results from those staff members. But at the time, the meaning that I attached to that was that they were just really good at their job, right? I didn't put two and two together and say, maybe my connecting with them, getting to know them, getting to know what they really want to do and really, trying to communicate with them, maybe that was what was getting me the result. So, fast forward years later, I've worked with hundreds of leaders, many of them who were just starting out. And I've come to believe that thought, that idea of, I've just got to get stuff done and I don't have time to connect, right? So much of the time I thought, if you're coming to stand at my door to talk to me, guess what? You're just interrupting me, right? I've got work to do. I've realized that belief is really a very common thing. And so when John talks about connecting with people, as at my awareness level right now, I think, oh, how simple that is. But when I've really been reflecting on my own journey, I'm like, wow, apparently it was not as simple as I thought it was, right? So the reality is that when you put people first, when you really focus on connecting with other people, you get more results. So you actually get more done than what you would do if it was just you. So how in the world do you do that? Well, let me just tell you that this idea of connecting and building relationships and listening at a deeper level, it's going to go way beyond our short time together today, okay? I've created courses, I've taught classes, I've taught, 2-3 day leadership training seminars on just this one topic. So what I'm going to share with you today is like the little tippy top of the iceberg, okay? But I will say this, that if you are interested in learning more about this, the best way to go about that would be really to join our Empowered Leaders membership group. I know I talk about this all the time, but quite frankly, that's the place you want to be. That's where we talk about items like this and how do you connect with people who are sometimes challenging or difficult, right? And we do that in a way that you learn the principles, but then you come to the group and you share what you learned and you ask questions, you get your answers, and you go along on your journey and continue to learn. Okay, so if you really want to go deep, join the Empowered Leaders group. All right, so let me give you a few tips. I'll probably give you about, maybe 5 tips. Does that sound good? Okay, so the first one is awareness. When I first started out, I was not aware of this idea of connecting in order to build relationships to get results. So you have to have an awareness of that. One of the favorite quotes that I have, I can't remember who says it, but choice is a function of awareness. If you're not aware of a choice, you can't make that choice, right? So if you're not aware that connecting is even a thing, you can't do it. So let me just encourage you here. Out of the 5 tips I'm going to share with you today, guess what? Check this one off. Because just by listening or reading whatever format you're taking this in today, you are now aware that this connecting principle is actually a thing. Check. Look at that. You're already getting results. Okay, so the second thing is, when John says connecting is the ability, okay? So an ability is something that you can develop. Many people think connecting, is just natural for some, right? So I think about the Strengths Finder test. One of the top strengths that many people have that are considered people of charisma. They have the woo strength, WOO, winning over others, okay? Yeah, sure. It's a little easier for certain personality and strength types to connect with others. Just because it's easier for them doesn't mean you can't do it. So maybe you were hired in this leadership position for some of the abilities to, if you take John's 21 laws of leadership, maybe 10 of those things have nothing to do with relationships, so to speak, and you're really good at that. But guess what? You can begin to develop your ability to connect, okay? So you've got to have a belief that you can. All right? The third thing, identify with people. What in the world does that mean? Okay, first of all, you got to pause. Okay, you've got to pause not only in your talking, not only in your movement, but you've got to pause in your thought, right? You've got to listen to understand. So in order to identify with that person, to understand things from their perspective, you've also got to release your judgment. You know, it's really easy when somebody comes to you and says, oh, I've got this problem. And maybe you've walked through that problem before. It's really easy to just jump in and solve the problem, right? That's not connecting. I do that all the time with my kids. You know, kids will bring you a problem and you're like in your head going, oh yeah, I've been there, done that, right? They don't want you to solve the problem. They want you to sit with them, maybe ask some questions, encourage them to think so that they can solve their problem. So when you jump in to immediately solve, or you look at this person and in your head you judge them because of this problem that they have, that's not connecting. Okay? The fourth tip for you is mirror their communication style. Now, there are a ton of nuances that go into this, but I will tell you this, that, you know, if somebody is speaking fast, if they're a fast talker, they're more likely an extrovert, okay? And so if you can, speak a little faster too. Now, we're not doing this to manipulate anybody. We're using our superhero powers for good, okay? But it's a way to build rapport and credibility. Let's say you're a natural fast talker, but the person you're talking to, they tend to talk slower. They might have pauses in between what they say. So there's clues here that, okay, wait a minute, they might be an introvert. They're thinking before they're speaking, okay? So you want to flex how you speak with them, mirror their style. So instead of talking really fast like you do, you might want to slow down a little bit, pause. This takes great energy. This takes great intention. And I promise you it's worth it. Okay? So mirror their style. And then the last one, honestly, is to practice everywhere with anyone. Okay? So most of the time I'm working with people who are working on professional development goals, right? So they want to be better in the workplace. Maybe they want to get a promotion. Maybe they want to, help their people grow. This skill is something that goes way beyond the walls of your work. When you practice connecting on a deeper level with your loved ones, with your friends, maybe with a volunteer group that you're with, right? It doesn't even matter who it's with. But when you practice these connecting skills, guess what? You begin to use those skills in your workplace and vice versa. So choose the place or the person or the group of people that is the easiest to practice this on. For some of you, that's going to be strangers, right? For some of you, it's going to be friends. Some of you, it's going to be at home. Some of you, it's going to be at work. It doesn't even matter. But practice them, get better, okay? Now again, if you would like to learn and grow with a group of people who can help you to get better at that, I would invite you to join our Empowered Leaders membership group. Now, I'll leave the information in the description. However, here's the thing. in the month of July, pretty soon, I'll give you the long-term goal here, okay? So we've had the Empowered Leaders membership group open for, I don't know, since the end of May. So a couple months now. We've got about 70 people in the group, but there's still room for more. The one thing I have noticed is that as I'm trying to get more people to come into the group, that's where my focus has been. And I really want to turn that focus to how can I serve the people in the group better? And so at the end of August, we are going to close the doors. We're not going to accept new people into the group until probably January. Okay, because I really want to focus on the people. So in order to do that, we're giving bonuses for people not only to join, but to refer other people to join. And so if you sign up for the Empowered Leaders membership group, you've never been in the group before, and you sign up by 11:59 p.m. on July 31st, you're going to get 3 gifts. The first one is going to be a free DISC report. So DISC is a personality profile, but it's the communication report. So it shows you, hey, this is how you prefer to communicate, okay? And it gives you tips on, hey, you know, all these other people in your life that you might be having weird connections with will teach you how they prefer to communicate and teach you how to mirror their communication. So you get the DISC report for free. You'll also get a 30-minute coaching call with me that will go over your DISC report and help you understand what it all means, help you create an improvement plan. And then you're going to get an ebook with all kinds of tools and tips and strategies on how to connect, how to collaborate, and how to deal with conflict, okay? Because that's really important. So if you sign up for the Empowered Leaders group by the end of July, you'll get those bonuses. Now, many of you listening and watching and reading this are already in the Empowered Leaders group. You know how valuable that group is. So when you refer a person who signs up, you're going to get all of those bonuses as well, okay? So I wanted to make sure that you got that. Awesome. Hey, I hope you join us in the group. We're having a lot of fun just getting to know each other and really learning from each other's perspectives. So we'd love to have your voice in there with us. All right. With that, I release you into the wild. Go forth and prosper. Have an amazing day, and we'll catch you next time. All right. Bye-bye.